Good morning, beautiful global people. My name is Splattercat, and welcome back to the Nerdcastle for the next episode of Dead State. In today's episode, we are hanging out with some cactuses. Just a ridiculous amount of cactuses. Are these saguaros or saguaros or however the hell you say it? I don't know. I've only seen one like twice. Typically, the deserts that I go out to, they have these little ones right here. They don't have these guys. They have loads and loads of these little assholes right here sticking to your boots, but these don't really show up that often. I think I prefer these in the long run just because... Can I loot this over here? This looks... Yeah, that looks like it might be edible. It has the looks of an edible, lootable plant. Oh, it had strawberries on it. How nice of you to grow strawberries for me. Delicious, like, desert plant, I guess. Strawberries don't grow in the desert. But anyways, I'm not going to question it too much. What's up with that plant? It's like halfway in and out of the wall. Well, they put the concrete in, and I thought, hey, why not burst out of my seed right about now? And it just goes to show that over time, I was kind of built into the wall. It doesn't help with the photosynthesis. That is for sure. Those little photons that I require in order to do my job properly as a plant, not getting to about half of my body, but it's get busy living or get busy dying, I guess. I could complain about things that I can't change, or I could just, like, live with them, and I guess I'll live with them. Oh, wow, these people got dominated. All right, well, as concerning as this is, let's work our way around and see... Well, first off, let me get people equipped with weapons here that are actually suitable for the job that we're trying to accomplish. And then once I've done that, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put him in solo mode over here. And then he should have more than enough AP to deal with all of these Zeds by himself. It'll also make the job a lot quicker. It'll make it so that we're not tripping over each other while I try and do this. Typically, the only thing we trip on here at the Splendid Shelter is mushrooms. We don't trip on each other, though. Let's go over here. Smack this rotten looter. I don't know if that's to say that he's like bad at looting, or if that's to say he's literally rotting like in place, but I'm not going to question it too much. We're just going to get up in here and attack. Is there anything else on this side? I would assume that, yeah. People said that I never loot semi-trucks, and I thought, what an oddly specific thing for me to continuously skip. So I figure I should make like a semi-effort to loot all of the semi-trucks from now on, since people pointed it out. Once people point it out and I'm aware of it, I'm just like, oh, well, maybe I should do that. The other one people always point out is that the, let's see here, what is it? It's the time at the, I say something a lot. I've got another like turn of phrase that I'm constantly using. It's like my go-to phrase when I transition. And I try to work those out, but what happens is this is just a thing that's going to happen. If you ever work on YouTube or in broadcasting, I'm going to explain to you exactly how this is going to work. You're going to get like hold-on phrases that you say every now and again that you use whenever your brain is trying to come up with your next sentence, but you need to keep the conversation going. And what happens is you're going to recycle those very, very quickly. And right about the time your fan base gets tired of one, you've got to cycle to another one just to show that you're variable and you can, like, adapt your various linguistic tendencies. I don't know. Seems to work okay for me for now, but I don't catch it all the time, and then people point it out. Come on, clear out zombies. There we go. All of you go down. God, this riot baton is the greatest thing ever. I love this thing. I went to go buy one on the internet, but apparently they're really, really, really illegal. Like, if you get caught with one, have fun in handcuffs. Like, it's bad. I went to get one online because it seemed like it was super awesome. And I'm not the kind of person that could just, like, leave it in my house. I'd, like, put it in my car and go show it to my friends and stuff. And so, out of protecting myself from my own stupidity, I was like, maybe I just shouldn't buy this. On the plus side, while intelligence when wielding random weapons that I bought from the internet is not one of my strong points, the ability to refrain from buying them in the first place because I know what kind of trouble I'm going to get myself into, that is a skill that I have. And so I've lucked out where one, like, balances the other. So there it is. But yeah, there's no way. If I had a riot baton, it's totally just like, it's going in a backpack or it's going in a car somewhere because it's too cool to leave at home. It's way too cool. You could be like, snicked. It makes the sound that Wolverine's claws make when they come out. Snicked. Like, everybody, that's like your dream. Since you were a little kid, you've wanted something on your body that goes, snicked. Like, that's part of the military corps. Did they take damage? I'm a little bit nervous about the military corpses. I don't know how I want to deal with this real fast, but let's put this on solo mode. And actually, we'll use this guy up here in the back as a test, because he's all by his lonesome. Okay, so he has resistance, sure, but not that much resistance. It's enough to be a pain in the ass. We got a crit at the end. That's the only reason he went down. Oh, good, he drops boots. That's fantastic. Alright, well, I don't even know if I should be looting any more of this stuff because we have more than enough equipment, but I'm such a pack rat that I really sort of want to, and you never know when you're going to get a recipe for, like, plate mail boots. If we could clear the Zeds out of this place in this episode and then come back on the next part and loot the hell out of it, I think that's probably the best plan. Was this the military base? It's kind of small. It's like a tiny, I don't know, I live right next to like Travis Air Force Base, and Travis Air Force Base goes on forever. I used to be on base all the time with my granddads because they're both in the Air Force. Well, was it the Air Force in the 70s yet, or was it still the Army Air Corps? Either way, I don't know. They're both from, that's how they got to California. That's actually how a lot of people around here got to California. You would find around the military base that, like, a lot of people around here are actually from, like, Texas or Georgia, or a lot of people from Texas, in fact, like, a ton of people from Texas. They join the military, and then they get shipped out to Travis Air Force Base, and that's that. Now they're Californians. And there it is. But, yeah, Travis Air Force Base goes on for days. That place is huge. It, like, never ends. And I used to be on base all the time, go out to the BX all the time with my grandparents. Yep, that was the funsies. Alright, so let's beat... Oh, actually, these ones are going to trap us in combat for a second. I'm going to wait and see what happens here. Oh, we got zombie military dudes heading on in. We got this MP looking to see what can be around the back of this semi. I almost said semi just to make it rhyme, but I'm not that attached to the rhyming scheme. Not that attached to it, so I figured I'd let it go. You just fall down and go away, because I don't love you. Like, no, Tweedle Time doesn't love me. He loves me so little that he hit me with a baton. I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty low amount of love. Like, the integer is getting pretty, it's getting towards the bottom of the barrel for sure. If they're hitting you with batons and stuff. Like, there's a lot of different types of love, but the hitting with baton type of love, it's got to be near the bottom of the ruler. I don't know. Let's see if we can... Oh, we got him for 25. That's good. That forces him at least to pick his dumb ass up before he tries to come back around the car and mess with us again. They're dropping bullet vests, which can actually be turned into parts, but not that many, so... Not super fascinated by the prospects of looting 1,000 of those in my inventory right now. I'm going to try and clear out this way, and what I'm going to try and do is once I clear this, I'm hoping there's nobody in here. If there's somebody in here, this could get really, really rowdy really, really fast. And so in the interest of stopping saying really, really, I think I'm just going to work my way through. We got seen by something. Okay. I'm going to move them up slightly, but what I was saying is I'm going to clear out this end. Because there's a big... I should have brought a grenade with me. I could have just thrown it in the middle, but I'm willing to bet that was probably too loud for the situation. So who's on him? Oh, there was a zombie right there. Okay, I didn't realize there was a zombie around that side. He's going to line up in the front and just... Yeah, go ahead and stand on that other zombie's crotch. Go for it. I'm sure he doesn't mind anymore. It is what it is. I'm going to loot your bullets, though. I don't know if you mind me having these, but I'm going to take them as a heirloom for right now. On this side, let's get everybody grouped up. Come on, keep trucking. That guy's probably going to come investigate, but usually they're a little bit slow on it. So I guess we probably didn't need all this gear for right now. Like, I came out here loaded for bear because I figured what was going to happen is we were going to fight some bears of men. We're going to fight some very bear-like individuals with beards and, like, large caliber rifles. Unfortunately, it appears, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I guess, it looks as though we're probably going to have this easy street style. This place doesn't look that bad. Hopefully we can lock down some equipment, though, before we leave. I'm sort of wondering if those guys over... Never mind, that's too far on the map. I was going to say, I thought that maybe the guys in the military that were investigating the other shelter might have been from out here, and they were just sort of, like, out and about looking for supplies, but it seems like that'd be a little bit too far. Then again, I'm way the hell out here, and we're really far from home, so I could be wrong. Let's bring everybody up here. Regroup, and I think I'll take... Let's just check behind the buildings and whatnot. Okay, so yeah, there's a couple more Zeds over here. I'm going to snipe the one out of the alley right here. Okay, you're down. Once we get these all out of the alley, we're going to deal with this big blob over here, because that's really the only dangerous part. They still deal damage when they tackle you, and we really don't want to fight them because we have, like, no bite protection right now. All we have is ballistic protection, so I prefer to keep myself out of any nasty skirmishes that might arise. I'm going to put an arrow on that one right there. Do a little bit of damage, just sort of see who I can bait over here. Use a cheese tactic, or an MMO tactic, depending on how you look at it. I don't know why, but when I just said cheese tactic, it made me think about, like, Cheez-Its. What I always thought was weird about Cheez-Its is they are delicious, but they have the word zit in their title, which always concerns me vaguely. I feel like it's probably one of those, like, snacks that was named back in the 50s before they thought about it. And it's just been that way for like 100 years. But for a snack that has the word zit in its name, it's actually pretty good. It's a pretty decent afternoon munch snack. That's why I'm like a child inside, so I call them munch snacks. Don't ask. I hang out with chipmunks and stuff a lot. They use a lot of phrases like that. I read way too much Lloyd Alexander when I was younger, and so, you know, gurgy munchings and crunchings and all that. It's a number of issues. It is a number of issues of an undefined integer, so take from that what you will. I'm actually probably going to, hopefully I can two-shot that one, and then the goal is to step back to here maybe and just let the other ones come along. There we go. We are going to take a little bit of damage on this, I think. Just from the clawing and biting attacks, there is the likelihood that, you know, we'll be left with a few extra scars, but I think if we can clear all the Zeds out of this place, it puts us in a very, very good position to loot the remainder later on. I think we're still in combat because it's not letting us drop out, so I think this guy now is going to come over. Leave bodies laying all over the place. Oh, look, it looks like an FBI suit got taken out over here. Well, she dresses like she's in the FBI. I don't know. The FBI is like one of those jobs where it's like, do they just take over where the police can't handle stuff? Like, what does the FBI actually technically do? Like, I know they're the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and I know they investigate, like, homicides and stuff like that. Do they investigate anything of interest to them, though? Is that, like, or if an investigation needs to be done, do the police contact them, or do they sort of, like, show up when they're not wanted? Because, like, on TV shows, they're just like, oh, it's the goddamn FBI. And they're always, like, upset when the FBI shows up, like, this is my jurisdiction. Why are you up in my jurisdiction? You know, and they argue about who's in charge. But, like, really, I feel like I would just be like, cool, less work for me. Have fun, feds, later. Like, maybe I'm just an asshole, though. That might be. I might just be a lazy prick. I'd be like, oh, good, the FBI's here. It means I don't really need to follow this through. Later. I'm going to go sit in my car and eat pretzels. Let me know if you need anything. My name is Officer Matt. Here, just take this thing. No, but actually, you're the FBI. You have jurisdiction here. Later. I don't care. Oh, this is why I can't be given any responsibility ever. This is why you just have to put me on the internet. This is why this is like the only job that I could ever really do. Is because I just, you know, I could do lots of other jobs and have done lots of other jobs. Oh, good. Pats on the back. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I had a pat on my back one time, but it was just a little kid named Patrick. I was in that Big Brother program for a little bit when I was like, I don't know, did they do this in every school? Like in the United States, at some schools, it's called a Big Brother program, basically. When you're like in the 8th grade, they like assign you a 3rd grader and you hang out with them like on Friday afternoons or something like that. It's sort of like a community service thing, but essentially, I'm not really sure what the point of it was. Because the little kids seemed like they were well adjusted enough to where they didn't really need me. It's not like they were like at-risk little kids. They're just like normal little kids, and then they just like hang out with 8th graders and like learn swear words, and that's basically where the whole thing falls apart. Like, we used to think that was the funniest part. We were terrible. You can't give a 3rd grade mind to an 8th grader. You kidding me right now? The first thing we did was like, hey, you want to learn some swear words? Hey, say this, right? Walk over to that lady over there and say this. That was like the first thing. That's like instantly you start thinking about ways that you could exploit this situation because you're 13, and that's what 13-year-olds do. 13-year-olds are inherently evil. I only got worse. Between the ages of 13 to 17, I was just like a spiral of evil. Just worse and worse evil, like worse and worse ideas over and over and over again. I was like a cotton candy maker of evil ideas. I took that random like floaty sugar all around and I made it into like this wispy mass that was delicious and fun to partake in. I was a negative influence, it was for sure. I was that kid that didn't get invited to the birthday party, not because the kids didn't want me there, because the parents were like, I don't know if this is a good idea. At least we're getting lots of parts in here. Why are you carrying around a spool of wire? Like, what was the point of that? If you look at the parts, everybody here... Oh, there's a bullet right there. I like bullets. I can shoot them. Okay, well, this leaves us in kind of a weird situation where we're a little bit over-encumbered to, like, actually do anything right now, but I'm going to hit this door in the face because it said things about my mother. When you say things about my mother, I'm going to hit you wicked hard. So there it is. Don't get wicked smart with me. Break that thing down. What? They got, what is this, like the yoga room? Aw, man, military yoga? Today we're going to be doing our floating condors. This is particularly useful when you've been in a particularly intense combat lately. The flying condor is great for relieving stress. Just go ahead. There's always that guy in the yoga room. Like, it's okay. Nobody laugh. Nobody laugh. Paul farted. It's okay. People fart in yoga class. It's all good. Seriously, people fart in yoga class. Like, that is a real thing. I have a family member who's a yoga instructor. She's like, yeah, it gets quite flatulent up in here every now and again. They do, like, Bikram or something like that. Basically, they do yoga in a room that is, like, insanely hot. Like, I went in there and I was like, wow, people pay money to do this? You know, you could be a roofer and you could get paid to do this. I mean, you don't get the flexibility, but you get real buff and you get a good workout and it's super hot and miserable. I'm just saying, you could, like, turn this into a career if you wanted to. You could make a lot of money. 30 points of damage right there. Unfortunately, I wish the AP was a little lower on that. I think that the AP is high on the weapon maybe because... I don't know why the AP is actually so high on that weapon. I couldn't honestly tell you. I guess maybe because it's a piercing weapon and they're trying to balance it. Piercing weapons in this game are pretty powerful because there's not a whole lot of things that have resistance to them, but at the same time, I feel like 4 AP for a one-handed weapon that only does like 24 to 32 feels a little bit high. But I guess, what was her knife? But yeah, anyways, I have a family member that does Bikram. She's actually like an instructor for it. And like, I didn't know people paid money to do that. I don't know, I was a roofer, so I take kind of like the whole thing from sort of like a sarcastic bent where I'm like, so what you're saying to me is you get inside this room and you do strenuous activity that makes you sweat a lot and you pay money to do it. I'm like, well, I used to get paid money to do this, but I don't think I would ever pay somebody else to make me do, like, for example, I would never pay you to let me get on your roof and fix it. Like, it just, that equation doesn't work out economically. The pecuniary viability of that situation does not appear to be in alignment with the things that I desire out of life. A lathe? Yeah, let's get lathed. Ooh, sledgehammer. I don't know why we need a sledgehammer, but sure, let's bring it back. I think that's a luxury good, isn't it? Yeah, it's like a value of 1 or whatever. Are we completely and totally full up right now? I would assume that we are, simply based on the fact that, like, yeah, we're wearing such heavy gear right now. We'll make a second run just like we did in the last episode. Basically just like zigzagging between the two. I should probably investigate. I'm going to try and, I don't know. The data items are hard to deal with because sometimes they're like 50 years long. Like, that's the problem, is sometimes they actually leave you like a book to read. And so I can't do that on camera unless it's like in a specialized episode. So I always get worried about doing it. Maybe I'll just like go through them and be like, nah, that one's too long. Nah, that one's too long. Nah, this one's good. Let's do this. Maybe I'll do that. Make it a little bit easier. And then maybe make like a separate episode for the really, really long ones where we just have like a Morgan Freeman moment where we sit around and do like an Everybody Poops book reading. Tweedletime, what are you doing right now? I'm going to need you to get on point and just... There you go. Nice job, buddy. Nice job. Let's go back to the shelter. I think we should have time. Watching the clock, it was like 1 o'clock when we left here. How long is it going to take us to get back over here? It was 1 o'clock when we left, and it's almost 4, which means it's going to be 3 hours there and 3 hours back. We're going to get back around 10 o'clock at night, but there's no enemies left, so we don't have to worry about getting chewed on, killed, or otherwise butchered. So I think that sounds pretty good for me. I have no interest in being a cutlet. I don't really have an interest in being any job title that has let at the end. There's not a lot of, like, really flattering titles that end in the word let. Piglet. Cutlet. You know, so you see what I mean? Like, it's not a real endearing thing to be called by anybody. I don't think I'm actually going to bring a whole lot of gear along with me. I just want to keep my weight light. Although the second that I do that, you know we're going to get jumped by marauders or some ridiculous shit while we're on the way over there, so... I don't know, maybe throw... How heavy is that? 15 versus 15? Oh, well, you might as well take that then. There's, like, utterly no point in taking the reinforced leather jacket instead of the... I think the motocross might be the best all-around armor in the game just for, like, scouting, fighting, whatever it is you're trying to do. If you don't know what equipment you need, it's a fantastic armor set just for everything because it gives you just enough for heavy combat. It gives you, like... more than enough for 90% of the other combats, and it's light enough to where you can still loot and get stuff done. I'll probably drop the gun at this point. I don't think she needs to carry it along anyways. We'll also give her a baton. Yeah, I love the batons in this game. These telescoping batons are really, really quite frabjous. Is that the word that I was looking for? I don't know. So my guess is that somebody's going to ask for guitar strings at some point. This gun just tempts me. Like, I want it, but it's just not that good. I don't want to use up all my 357 rounds either because I have this sneaking suspicion that later on we're going to get some kind of like lever action that fires a 357, like a special rare one or something. Ooh, I just blocked a yawn right there, see? That's how you do it. You learn to catch that stuff when you do commentary for long enough. You'll be like, ah, I believe I feel a yawn incoming. Perhaps I shall block that so that I don't give the impression that making commentary is boring. Oh, we have the Galaxy Wars thing. Well, maybe I should give that to somebody. You don't need to carry around any extra stuff right now. We'll just keep ourselves light for the time being. That's the one. For the time being is the one that I say. Is that everybody? We all kitted out? We ready to get back out there? All right. Give me the Galaxy Quest books or the Galaxy Wars books, and we'll go give that to our dear farming friend. Where's she at? I think she's back in here. Yeah, there she is. We also need to talk to Aggro, but we'll get that tonight. Hey, I got you a copy of Complete Galaxy Wars. Oh, thank you. Oh, look at this scary guy on the back. What's he all about? I can't wait to read this. I know I shouldn't be so excited, but I've been waiting most of my life for this. Well, I hope the wait was worth it. Enjoy. I get that. I had friends that were like that, because when you grow up, I grew up in kind of like a really, really tight-knit Christian, like Mennonite type community. I get it. I had friends. My parents weren't that bad about it compared to a lot of my friends. Like, a lot of my friends, like, I had a friend that wasn't allowed to play Legend of Zelda because it had witchcraft in it. Like, apparently. The weird thing is that the parents would let him play, like, GoldenEye, which is you, like, murdering human beings the entire time with, like, blood splotches and everything all over their shirts. But no, Legend of Zelda, off limits. I'd be like, you could not pick, like, a more harmless action game. Like, Zelda really does not get that dark. Like, Majora's Mask had some pretty dark themes. But, like, by and large, you could do a whole lot worse if you're looking for a game for your kids to play. Like, it's lighthearted. It's a typical Nintendo game where it knows where the line is, and it goes out of its way not to cross it while still being, like, an engaging gameplay experience. You know, like, I don't know. But I get it. When I turned 18, well, not when I turned 18, I guess. Around the time I turned 16 or 17, my parents just, like, stopped caring about, like, the transmission of religion or whatever. And after that, our relationship got a lot better. And after that point, it was nice because all these things that were, like, off limits before, I was allowed to, like, research them and go, like, look at them, you know. Also, internet porn. But anyways. Oh, God. Well, just gave that one away. And now everybody in the audience is like, mm-hmm. Everybody's like, yep, there it is right there. See, your parents were right. Your parents were right, Splattercat. And I'm like, yeah. You know how, the nice thing, though, the really nice thing is, yes, my parents were right about a lot of stuff. But, I got the greatest I told you so in human history going right now. Because, like, my entire life, people had told me that, like, video games were worthless and there was, like, no point and they were, like, a waste of time and I needed to, like, go do something with my life. And now I play video games for, like, a living, and it's how, like, I earn my bread every single day. It's, like, how I earn my right to pay my rent and whatnot. And so now I just sit there smugly at family meetings. I'm like, yeah, hey, you remember how you guys used to say that this was pointless and how I was wasting my time? Hey, you see what I do? Yeah, you see that right there? Yep. How do you feel right now, huh? How do you feel? Oh, yeah, see? You didn't think it would turn out like this, huh? Yeah, I know you were my parents' friends and you thought you were giving them good advice about their kid, but it looks like you were giving bad advice. 20 years later, you give bad advice. It's okay. Some people give bad advice. Some people give good advice. How were you supposed to know that video games would turn into, like, this weird thing that everybody was into all of a sudden? I mean, back when I was a kid, to be honest, like, video gaming in the 80s, you were definitely, like, a weirdo. Like, you were definitely, like, sort of like a... I don't even know what to... You were a dweeboid for sure. Like, nobody really... There were kids that didn't want to come over to my house when I was a kid because they knew that I just like to play video games all day every day. And it's not like I didn't go outside and do stuff. It's just like I did so many extracurricular activities that, like, when I was at home, I played video games, and none of these other kids did those extracurricular activities. Like, I played baseball, I was on the swim team. Like, I was really, really, really active for a kid. And so when I was at home, I played video games all day, every day, because I figured, you know, I already, like, ran my ass off on the track or on the field all day, every day. And so now I'm home, I'm doing this. I got my sunlight. It's all... No! It did 0 damage, so I'll take it. I'll take it. Although he seems to be... Whose turn is it right now? Tweedletime's? What is going on here? That's odd. I think the zombie is technically in this space, maybe? I don't know what's going on right now. Yeah, I think they're sharing a space or something. I'm not positive, but we should probably kill the zombie to fix this. I'm just going to encircle him, and then we'll see what we can do here. Yeah, I'm going to need you to kick him off of you so we can figure out, like, where he's actually dead at. Because this is another one of those positional bugs. The game seems to have a very, very hard time, like, tracking where characters are at any given moment. That seems to be its fundamental hang-up, is that much like an old landline of yore, it doesn't know exactly when to put down the line. I don't know. I got nothing with this metaphor right now. It was more of a simile because I used the word like in there. If you don't know the difference, so a metaphor is where you say, the spring burst forth with radiant glory, and, well, actually, let's just go the way that I had it taught. The moon was a ghostly galleon. There you go. The moon was a ghostly galleon. That's a metaphor. And then if it's like, the moon was like a big-ass blue thing, then that would be like a simile because you used like in the sense. I realize that's a terrible way to describe it. That was how we actually learned the difference between metaphor and simile in high school. We read The Highwayman by... Oof. That's embarrassing. Why can't I remember this? I don't know. All I remember is dude got capped, like hardcore at the end of the poem. Like I was like, whoa, twist ending. That dude got shot in the face like 900 times. He should have brought backup. That's what that dude needed. That dude didn't need like the lace around his neck. That guy needed backup. He needed friends. Grab that right there. Alright, I'm sorry about that. I had a big-ass frog in my throat, and I had to make that cut right there. But anyways, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the highwaymen. Not real flattering of the redcoats, that one. Not a real flattering poem about the redcoats. Anyways, I'm gonna work this thing out of my throat real fast, and I'll come back to do the next episode in just a second. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerdcast for the next episode of Dead State. I look forward to seeing you in future episodes. Hi, do everybody.